Greetings and welcome to. Oh, you can't see us. Why are we? Oh, because that's the preview editor. That's why. So I need to save that.
Starting off great.
Yeah. We're starting off as usual. Apply scene changes. Now can we see us? Let's see. There's you. There's me. Hey, it's us.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
This is where we started out.
For another happy hour with you 6 viewers online. Welcome. My name is Jason
everybody.
Tudor. That's Keith Pinnell over there on the right. Beardless. We'll get into that in a minute. And we will talk more and more about the grocery store that burned out just yards from my house. So I'll tell Carl about that and my new computer and the fondue I ate tonight and every darn thing else. What are you up to looking at your phone?
I'm trying to get a watch party started as usual.
As usual, as I did on my feed. If you're on the watch party, aloha from wet and cold Hawaii, Daniel says.
Hey,
As usual, if you are tuning in on the watch parties from anywhere, from the Brooke Muehlbach page, from my page, from Keith's page, please jump over to the show page, sign in and say hello so we could see you. Otherwise, we won't see you on the watch party pages and we won't know if you're from the neighborhood or talking or whatever, wherever it is you might be. It is Sunday, March the 7th. I decided to take a day off tomorrow.
You did?
Yeah. I got about... So part of this project of getting... So I got a new computer, and I gave my desktop computer to my daughter, and I also gave her a much larger monitor. And so part of this whole getting a new computer has been rearranging the entire third floor, basically, and deciding that we have too much shit up here. But let's save that for a minute. Let's talk about... let's do some local hour stuff. So are you aware that the penny burned down near my house? Were you conscious of it, aside from when I posted it to your feed?
No. And that is on the way to your house. If I get off the 6
Yes.
and take the Misau exit and then come back towards Brooke Muehlbach,
Correct.
that is on the way on my left, correct?
It is. It is indeed. Very good memory. Even without your beard, you have a good memory. So, yes. So...
One thing I just noticed was I leaned my head back and my earphones slid off because there's no hair there for friction.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Shaving a haircut.
In the Brooke Muehlbach, the greater Muehlbach metropolitan area, there are 2 grocery stores. One at this end of town, and then the one up at the other end of town, which is called, and I'm going to mispronounce this, Replay. What's a Jay Giles song?
Freeze frame.
It's not freeze frame though. It's I believe it's Riva. Both pretty good grocery stores. So you have Penny on this end and you have Riva on this end. So last night, as I mentioned, I got this new computer at the BX. I want to thank Richard at the BX, who was awesome because they actually had 3 computers in, and I said, which of these 3 do you think is best? And
First of all, let's stop right there.
Yeah.
Let's stop right there and go, they had 3 in?
I shit you not. Yeah, that was a big moment. I agree.
Wow.
Yeah, I agree because I go in with the same
continue, please.
expectations. Yeah, no, I'm with you. So anyway, I said, look, I said this is what I want to do. I want to do VR. I want to do this video game that I play, and I do this, and this. He's like, I really liked. He said, I just bought this one 3 days ago. It's awesome. It's got the upgraded video card. I put another 32 or 16 gigs of RAM in it. Yada yada yada. And because I had my mind set on another one. He says, and the one I wanted, they did not have in, which was fair because I should have bought it a week ago when they did have it in. But it's a great computer, and they put it on sale. So it actually was basically the computer that I bought, but with 32 gigs of memory. He says, but that other computer that I was looking, he was just he's very candid, and he was very, very honest about it. And I said, great, you just made a sale, and I bought Dee a new computer, right? So anyway, this last night, that precipitated sort of a whole new feng shui. So, Keith, what you don't know about me is that I move my office around probably every 6 months. It's just a habit. Like
noticed that.
All this shit behind me will probably in 6 months not be here. But I'm hoping that I can keep the current configuration that I have for a long time and just not move. I'm just a horrible at like staying in one place in my own office. I can't do it, which is why some things tend to break a little faster because I move them around so much. So anyway, I feng shui my office like once every 6 months. And so I've actually been pretty comfortable with this configuration that it had been in. I had sort of built my own little alcove that had the 3D printer and everything else on it. But right now, I said, "Oh, I've got this laptop in, and I've given off the desktop to Annabelle here, so I need to feng shui my space again." And part of it is that I wanted to have this big TV here still. Part of it is that I wanted to make sure that I could have my bike up here so that I could do some virtual biking with that, and a couple of other things. So last night, late into the night, I was still banging around trying to figure out what was the best configuration. Plus, I have my drawing tablet. I have this second laptop that I'm trying to get in shape so I can, and on and on and on. Well, anyway, about 2:30 a.m., yes, that's how late I was up, I hear this, and then I heard it a lot. And I'm like, why the hell am I hearing that? I'm thinking, well, maybe I'm up too late, and I'm just, I don't know, maybe I'm hallucinating or something. But I'm pretty mentally fit, so that was not it. But I'm like, that was a lot. There were a lot of sirens, and it turns out the penny grocery store, exactly where you marked it, burned completely. I'm not going to say completely destroyed because we in the news business know that is not a thing, but it was destroyed. It was completely gutted. And so we drove by today. Let's see, where did we go today? We went to
Airman Chris Pollock. Welcome to the show.
Chris Pollock, welcome.
Chris.
I like that. We got 9 viewers tonight. That's a big deal. So
a third of them are Pollocks.
We like that. So yeah, like a third of them are Pollocks. That's right. One of them's my dad. So it's the usual crowd. But thank you everybody for joining us. So we were on our way, I think, we went to the commissary, I think, or I don't remember where. We went somewhere. And we drove by, and there were still just as many fire trucks, just as many people. And it was like, wow, they were still fighting this thing. It was bizarre. So we drove, came back, they were still there. And then Dee Dee and I went on a hike just outside of Kindberg. I think Kindberg. There's a little lake there. We sort of walked around, and then we sort of made our own trail and that kind of thing. And we drove by again, and they were still there, and there were a bunch of firefighters on the ground. They were exhausted. This thing it's totally gone. It's burnt up. So it looked like the upper half was made of like wood, and the bottom half was made of that. Everything's made of concrete in Germany, so this was made of concrete as well. That looked okay. So I'd posted on my wall, and it looked like a grocery store burned down in our neighborhood. So people have been reacting to that. And the other thing that happened was there's a couple of reports that came through. So people, if you're on from the Brook Mulebach group, welcome. Thanks for coming on. This is what I'm talking about. By the way, it's a Bumblebee Day tomorrow. Don't forget, black and yellow. So I got to go down and do that when I'm done here and clean up the kitchen from the fondue and stuff. But they did a drone shot on one of the news reports. So it was the first time that the fire department had used its drone to kind of survey damage. And when you look down into it, gone. I mean, just everything just scorched earth. Now, all that said, no one was hurt. That's the main thing. And again, aside from, I think, some exhausted firefighters, and it was a burner. If you look at the photos, you can see the flames leaping into the air and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Now, here is the fantastic conspiracy theory. My friend Andrea, who I used to work with when I was at the Marshall Center down in Garmisch, she goes, there was a penny in Farkant, which is a town near Garmisch, that burnt down 2 years ago. And I was like, oh, they do insurance money scams here? That is awesome. I just thought that was a Goodfellas thing, but, it looks like...
Come on.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think Nutella can catch on fire that quickly. Do you? So anyway, that's kind of what's led my news day. How about you?
You know what? Today I have not. This weekend I've been out of the house, but not for anything constructive. I've gone to the BX.
Yeah.
I've gone. I didn't even go to the commissary today. I went back to the BX because I watched a video.
Back to the BXXR. You're welcome.
Yeah, I use the heater a lot in my car because I hate being cold, and I use the exhaust. I don't use the vents too much. I use the. Well, I probably shouldn't do that. I use the exhaust or the not the exhaust. I said the exhaust, the defrost.
Make up your mind.
Well, the exhaust would cause different kinds of problems.
Yeah.
This
is the end.
So my windshield on the inside is dirty. So I said, what's the best way, YouTube, to clean the inside of your windshield?
Oh, you went to YouTube.
And the first video I came to and Paddington. And so I did it today. I went and got the supplies, and basically it's microfiber cloths and the Mr. Clean magic eraser, and then whatever glass cleaner of your choice. And it looks good. I went back to Ramstein today to get takeout from Chili's, and of course, I was facing the sun, so it really worked. Yes, really worked well. Now, you heard me say takeout from Chili's. Are you ready to get into COVID stuff?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, so that was my next point was I think we are finally, as the Commodores say, busting out of some COVID things because there's a lot of dam breakage here. You were unaware that they had rescinded General Order Number 2, and I was aware of I was aware of it, but then I was kind of like, okay, though, but what does that mean for us, right? So I saw that it had changed, right? But I didn't know, like, okay, let's post it, but it seems like I think there's a lot more folks out there who are like, okay, what does rescinding it mean than, where is the duck? That's a good question, Dad. He's around here somewhere. I think he's on the back there. I'm actually staying home to rearrange my office more and catch up on some sleep. But so I don't know what rescinding means, and I think it's going to generate more. Because does that mean we can travel? Does that mean blah 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 blah?
Right.
So they're going to have to get into that tomorrow, which is going to be a morass. And then, of course, restaurants, stores.
You said it's going to be a what?
Morass. You should look that up. It's a big word.
I thought you said up our ass.
Well,
sorry. Which
that too.
Probably, yeah. No, I agree. Who puts out the fact that you are rescinding a general order,
right,
at 6:05 on a Friday night?
Right, and again, the question is, what does it mean?
It's not us.
What does it mean, of course, to us, and why for? Right. So those are the big questions. So the big thing that you should know, friends who followed the podcast since episode 1, and that means you're now 56 episodes in, congratulations, is so we're now moving back to like summer 2020 kinds of standards, I think. So there'll be outdoor eateries. Stores will be open, and I think the rule is one person for every 20 square meters can go in the stores. But at least the comic book store will be open, so Annabelle's happy about that, I'm sure. Maybe we won't have to go into one entrance of the BX anymore, on and on and on. So that's good news, but at least stores are opening. Now, the question, of course, for beautiful Dee Dee is, what does this mean for travel, right? What does this mean for our hotel's going to open up? Because one of the things that was on the list, and this was the first, was cinema. Cinema's on the list, so theaters are on the list, right?
Which really threw me.
Right, yeah. Right. So theaters are on the list, and outdoor sports is on the list. So we talked about this a couple weeks ago, and I still think it applies, but I think we are finally at the sort of the no turning back point, because Dee Dee was pretty clear. She's like, if we go back into another lockdown, it's time to seriously think about going back to the United States, because there's no sense in staying here. At the end of the day, you come here to, obviously you're hired to do a job and you want to do great at your job, but the numero uno perk about living in Europe, and many of you know this, especially the regulars, is you get to travel, and you get to travel fairly cheaply. You can get a Ryanair flight to Spain for 25 euros. You can get a Ryanair flight to Cyprus, to a resort for 50 euros, and on and on. So if you can't do any of those things, if you're just stuck with, hey, let's go back to Landstuhl Castle again, which is great the first couple of times, especially if you have to bring guests. But by the 10th or 11th time, you've hiked that fucking trail, you've looked at that ruin, you're good, you got it. Now what can you do, right? So you can only do those kinds of things so many times before they, before they come old. So what are you thinking?
No, I wholeheartedly agree. In fact, I've been trying to make a promise to myself to get out on weekends, but I always hesitate, and I always talk myself out of it because nothing is open.
Nothing's
open. You
can
walk up to the gates of a castle. I want to go to Darmstadt, which I know you've been to. That was one of the last castle trips I know you took. Where it was one of the places that.
Welcome to everybody who's joining us.
Mary Shelley used.
Yeah.
Mary Shelley used for the Frankenstein castle.
Right.
So, and that's an hour away.
That's where Stefan said he was going this weekend, by the way. He was going to that castle.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask him if it's open and you can get in and walk around.
Yeah, find out. Tell you tomorrow.
There's a place up north of Wiesbaden that you've been to. There's a bridge to cross, and it starts with an E, and I can't think of what it is.
I can't think of it. Sorry.
Castle.
Yeah.
Eschel or something like that.
Right.
Anyway, and you said it was very windy up there that day you went.
What is that in American cash? I don't know, Dad. I've lived in Europe too long. I don't really care what it is. But yeah, 25 euro. No, sorry, PJ. The other way. Yeah, that's about right. I'm sorry. Yeah, 25 euros is about 40 bucks. Cents. He's got it right. Yeah, 80 cents to the 80 cents to the euro, Dad. We're getting screwed right now. It's not British pound like, but it's close. So yeah, so the big news for COVID for you all is that restrictions are loosening. People are like, oh. Does this mean that hotels are going to open, trains are going to start running again? Really, that's what people are wanting to do. They want to know that. Didi and I are already talking about going to Berlin. Right, exactly. Thank you, Terry. $1.19. It's really with the exchange here. It's really a little less. So, do the math. Okay. So it's.
I can't.
Yeah, I mean I'm used to using euros these days, so I just know that it's about 80 cents to the euro. So, but everybody's on edge now. Everybody wants, and thank you for joining us, Terry. It's good to see you, by the way. Everybody's kind of on edge about, okay, are we going to travel? So you know what's going to happen is as soon as like that, okay, it's okay to get on an airplane and stay in a hotel. Boom! I mean, the demand's going to go up. The prices are going to skyrocket. Fairly so, right? Supply and demand. That's how our economy works. But I just wonder how easy or not easy it's going to be to get on a plane. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I saw today on one of the Facebook pages that the U.S. was just downgraded from high risk to risk, which means now you can still. You can fly in and out of America.
Vaccines.
Out of the U.S. I don't know why I keep saying but you still need to have that 48 test within 48 hours to come into Germany and also to go into the U.S. So we'll see how that happens and how that works out. Right. And also because I'm a little bit of pessimist with this, at least it's not like Texas where they said, "Hey, we just had 7,600 cases on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. So let's take away the mask mandate and open all stores up 100%.
Yeah, I thought that was
interesting. At least
it's
not like that. It's a graduated thing. Right. And they have said here in Germany that if the 7-day index, which is 1 per 100,000 people, if it gets above 50, they will shut shit down again. So at least they have a plan if it goes up, which again, being a little bit of pessimist because for the last year, 13, 14 months now, we have watched this, and every time people are giving a little bit of slack, the numbers go back up.
I'm trying to figure out
but
who
hopefully
Terry
with
was
vaccinations and that kind of thing.
Trying to figure out who Terry, the MIT grad, was telling to do the math. I think she might have hurt my feelings, but I'm not sure. You are watching this show is a JK with your pals Jason and Keith. Thank you for joining us, all of you. We really appreciate it. It's a big turning point day, I think, as we've talked about here in the local hour in terms of COVID, in terms of things that are happening. The vaccine is coming. I mean, it's getting out there. This Johnson & Johnson vaccine starting to make its way a little farther. The great news about the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is you don't have to freeze it below Mr. Freeze, negative 80 degrees Celsius or whatever it is, temperatures in order to keep it safe. And you could use it it's a one shot apparently. So supposedly it's Jim doing math is a lot like giving a baby a serrated edge knife, Terry. That's all. So the next bracket was supposed to be tonight, Dad, but I slipped and fell, and it's my own fault. But it's
been a rough week, Dad.
So I'm taking the day off, and one of the things I will do is institute your bracket, which is anyway. If you want to follow us on iTunes, we put the audio of these shows there. pretty much on Monday, Tuesday. So just go there, find the shows numbered. They usually have the subject of the show. The show's called Burning Down the House in honor of our grocery store. Thankfully, nobody being hurt and them claiming whatever millions of euros in insurance money they have. So did you watch WandaVision?
I did. I watched it earlier today.
I did not.
And I thought it was
I blew it. Yeah, I meant to. I meant to. I just have not.
You had people.
We had people from 4, but we were kind of like, I just didn't have a block of time to get to it. So that's what I'm going to do in the morning is get that not tied up, as it were.
We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah. Let's. We can talk about it now. I'm good. I mean, I think I kind of know what happened. Did it end the way you expected it to end? I mean, did it put closure on the series, or was it just a teaser for the Doctor Strange movie?
I don't know enough. Again, I don't know the canon and the background of everything.
Don't have to. Was it good TV or not good TV? That's what I'm asking. Was it a good ending?
I thought it ended fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it ended fine. I would have liked to have seen more of Kat Dennings, and I don't mean that in a.
I think you do.
She was only in it for that long.
Yeah.
So I would have liked to have seen more. Anything she does is funny to me. I don't know the background of White Vision, so or whatever he's really called.
So whatever. White Vision.
I don't know that.
Essentially, it's pretty much like what happens there. He is essentially all the they bring him back as that, and that's when he becomes kind of like I think the side story is that at that point, he and Wanda sort of go their separate ways, but he does want to be more of a normal human. Again, the Pinocchio story kind of thing. And he ends up creating android children and an android wife or something like that, and then sort of does that deal. I'm not sure, but anyway, wow, I'm pretty sure that was it, as I recall. I didn't get into that part of the thread. I was a big Vision fan when he was just sort of Vision, and they didn't kind of go off the rails with it. But I haven't kept up with the newer sort of Vision thing, so.
No, I liked it. I liked the twist that made it, made her the heroine.
Yeah.
And the human side that it showed of her.
Yeah.
Once she figured out that that you can't keep this the way it is, kind of thing. So, without trying to give away too much, I thought it was a satisfactory ending. I wish it was more seasons. I think there's a lot they could do with it.
Yeah.
Obviously, this arc with the hedge or hex as they call it would have to end. But I think there's more places they could go with her, and I liked the show itself. Yeah.
PJ says it closed the series, but the post-credit stories left open intro for Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange. Cool. I'm curious what they're going to do with the other Captain Marvel for 2 reasons. 1, there'll be 2 Captain Marvels, but 2. The rumor on the street is they're not really happy with Brie Larson as that Captain Marvel anyway. So that'll be interesting to kind of to see where that goes. Did you watch Coming to America 2?
I watched Coming to America 1986 to set me up for watching Coming to America. And I thought, have you seen it?
No, I haven't. So let me do this first. If you, of the 10 of you who are watching, have seen it, chime in with what you thought. I'm good. I kind of know what it's about, as it's no problem because Dee Dee did watch it, and because I was up here still kind of ripping things apart and so on and so forth.
What did she think about it?
She thought it was exactly pretty much what other Facebook opinions I've seen chimed in about it, which is it was cute. It was fine. It was nice to sort of revisit that again, but it wasn't anything necessarily landmark or groundbreaking. Not that it had to be. I was thinking in a lot of ways that that's kind of what it should be. That it shouldn't like try to do much new, because you wanted to see Randy Watkins again. You wanted to see the Barbers again. You wanted to see the Prince and Hakeem and all those guys again. Yeah. But it didn't have to necessarily they didn't have to end up they didn't have to end up in Madison, Wisconsin, or somewhere kind of off the range. But Dee Dee's only knock on it, I think, was that she said that they spent it's called Coming to America 2, but most of the time was spent in Zamunda. So
yes,
okay. So what was your thoughts?
It was cute. It was fun. It was exactly what it should have been. No, I enjoyed it. I thought it was better than the original, which the original was, I don't want to say groundbreaking, but the original was original in 1986.
Right.
This was, I thought the writing was better. Obviously, the special effects were better. But you're right. A lot of it was set in Zamunda. So that thing of him coming to America and the whole fish out of water thing was not in this one.
No,
it was the other way around. And again, I don't want to give it away. Give it away now. But I thought it was fine for what it was.
See, there it is. That's what I got out of the summary. Is it was fine.
My favorite parts is always going to be the barbershop. And oh gosh, I was surprised to see John Amos. I thought he was dead.
He's like the African American Abe Vigoda. Everybody thinks he's dead, and he's not dead. They just did an interview with him like 2 weeks ago. It was a very thoughtful, incredible interview. And again, I just think people think he's the African American community's Abe Vigoda, and they just think, well, no, Abe Vigoda's been dead. And Abe Vigoda is obviously passed away, but now he is. But for that period, that run up of 10 years, it was like Abe Vigoda's dead, right? No, he's alive. And you go like, hey, I'm here. Hello. So very strange.
A lot of the original cast members, the woman who became the queen, his wife.
Yep.
And a lot of others. It was cool. It was cool to reminisce. It was cool to see these old characters, including the guy who's like the butler or the major domo or whatever he is.
Yep.
Oha is his character name.
Oh yeah.
He's back.
Fish. Yep.
So yeah, it's it was good to watch. I watched that, and then I watched The Golden Child.
What a fantastic
movie than Coming to America
film. Underrated. That is what I call a Michael and Jason favorite. That is, I want the knife, please. Love that film. Highly underrated.
Numsy, my brother.
Sardam Noopspa, brother Noopsy. Did I tell you I did that at a Comic-Con to him, right? Did I ever tell you this?
To Eddie Murphy
to Charles Dance. So Charles Dance. I think I said this. I'm going to tell the story again since you brought him up. So Brother Noopsy was Charles Dance, who was also in Game of Thrones as one of the characters. I don't remember.
And Jumanji, and yeah.
So Charles Dance is not the happiest guy on earth, and so he is signing stuff for like $35 a pop. And I'm with my friend Mario, and I see him. I said, "Oh, I got to do Brother Noopsy. You think I should do Brother?" He's like, "Yeah, you should do it." And initially I was like, and then I literally there was nobody waiting to see him, so I acted like I was going to walk by, and then I looked and I turned and I went, "Brother Noopsy, it's so good to see you." Oh, his face, dude! He could have killed me with his face. It was awesome. And I didn't buy a picture. That was the best part. I didn't buy a picture. I was like, I don't want your picture. I don't really give a shit about you. But great movie moment. If he had that 8-ball in his eye again, that would have been even better. So that is it. I love The Golden Child. I mean, it's a great rewatch every once in a while. It is fantastic. So the movies that have been on.
Charlotte Lewis was beautiful.
Who? Yeah, Charlotte Lewis. She was kind of in the mold of Pebbles and Apollonia. And a few other, Lisa. She was very trending along those kind of starlet lines. So the Lord of the Rings movies were on today. So those have kind of been on in the background as we started preparing for our fondue evening. And then I've had to, you're aware of my tire, right? So I'll have to tell that story in a minute. So I've had to use the Infinity Battle Wagon, which I want to get sold. But in the Infinity Battle Wagon, you can put a USB stick in, and it's got all my 8,000 MP3s on it. But I also put a few movies on there, so you can have movie playing on the Tesla-like screen that I installed. And so Annabelle and I decided to go on a ride last night because it was like hey, I need to go get something to drink. Let's go to the convenience store. And then we ended up driving around and we went to a Greek restaurant and all this other stuff. But The Hobbit was on the thumb drive. So we ended up watching a lot of The Hobbit as we were driving around as well. So anyway, that's what's kind of been on here, Lord of the Rings. And I don't know what followed Lord of the Rings. I don't really care. But it was that and what was the other thing that we watched? Anyway, but in between all that, I'm like, man, I really need to get WandaVision in tomorrow morning. So that's my plan. I'll get up, got a few things I have to do. I'll work up here, put on WandaVision, and then watch it as it goes. So it should be an hour long, right?
It's about 48 minutes.
Yeah, right. So they call that an hour in the business. So
yeah.
I can't wait to see. They're putting fiber in your neighborhood. I can't wait because your screen keeps freezing up. We need to get you some fast internet.
I'm trying, man. Yeah, they said it should be a few weeks, and then I got to figure out if I stay with my current provider, if I go with, because it's being provided by the city, Ramstein-Miesenbach.
Right.
So I don't know if I have to get internet through them,
or
if I can stay with my current provider,
we already had that conversation.
or what.
Right.
So, we'll
Daniel says The Hobbit is the most bloated movie series either. Agree, but I really liked the first film. I really enjoyed the first film. The other two films, I went to the second film with a good friend of mine named Tom Collette. He lives in Garmisch now. He's from New Orleans. Great dude. Really like that. And I said, hey, do you want to go see Hobbit number 2 with me? I said, we'll get to see the dragon and, burn down the town. They'll shoot him with the black arrow, the whole thing. He's like, all right. So we go up there and we sit through episode 2. And at the end of the movie, the dragon is not dead. And he flies out of the cave. And you have to wait to the third movie to die. It's a theater in Munich. It's a great theater. If you ever get a chance to go to Munich, they have a great American movie theater. Great seats. Food is great. Beer, nachos, all that shit is amazing. But at the end of this film, when they show Smaug flying out of his cave toward Dale and the credits come down, I said motherfucker louder than anybody ever has in that theater. And I said it loud and proud. I either said motherfucker or what the fuck. It was what the fuck. I guess I just went, what the fuck? Because they didn't kill the dragon. They didn't get to the part. So Daniel is exactly right. Hobbit is an awfully bloated. No, it was nobody cared. Annabelle. Yeah, we were in the car, and so at the time I was still doing the science fiction show with Keith Ewan and Michael Wistock, and so I was kind of reporting in on this. And I did the podcast. I was so pissed off. Tom was driving, fortunately. I did the podcast from there to home, which was about 90 minutes. I did about 30 minutes. There wasn't enough I couldn't say about how stupid that was. And then the third movie is even worse. The third Hobbit movie is just a CGI bloodbath ridiculousness. So the good news is somebody on YouTube did a supercut of this, but I can't find it anywhere. So there's a supercut of The Hobbit where they took all the relevant moments from the book and they made like a 2.5 hour film out of it. That made sense. But I was in the car with Annabelle.
Should I just watch the last one?
Just watch the first one and say that's The Hobbit. I mean, don't even bother with the other two.
Okay.
But I was in the car with Annabelle, and I'm like, this is not in the book. This is sort of tacitly in another book. And I get it. He was chunking them out to make 3 movies and more toys. I get it. I know how movies work. But that's still, when that dragon didn't fly and die, I'm pretty sure it might have been an international incident. I don't know. But have you ever been that mad at like an expectation of a piece of entertainment where you just were like flew into a rage that something did or didn't happen? And what was it?
It was, yes, I have several times. The one that comes to mind was the first time in my life I was disappointed. I loved the book Flight of the Intruder.
Okay.
By crap, I can't think of his name.
Very popular among the flight sim community too.
Yes. Flight of the Intruder was a great book, and so they made it. And I think it was Jake Johnson, William Dafoe was in it, and I thought, okay, this is. And I was in high school.
Was that Owen Wilson too, or was that?
I
think Owen Wilson's in it.
No. That was much later. Yeah, that was much later.
Danny Glover, right?
Danny Glover played the admiral, the CAG. Yes, not an admiral, but a captain. Yes.
Looking it up now.
It was just horrible.
Danny Glover, William Dafoe, Brad Johnson, Rosanna Arquette, Tom Sizemore. Go ahead.
Yes. So it just did not follow the book, and I walked out of there mad because it didn't follow the book. Little did I know that as a, I don't know what year I was in high school, probably
91.
a junior. Okay, 91. Well, then I wasn't in high school. I was in college, but I remember seeing it in the town I was living in for high school. So anyway, right outside Omaha. So I saw it there, and I remember driving or being mad and not realizing for the first time in my life that would not be the last time I would be disappointed from a book to film movie.
Right.
So
there's more than a few.
And there have been so many.
And so most of the time I'm good with, we had actually on Science Fiction Show, we had this discussion a lot. I'm a big believer that you have to appreciate the story when it comes to the medium, right? So a comic is not a film, is not a novel, is not a TikTok video, is not a whatever. I mean, however you want to do that span, whatever your sort of range of entertainment products is. But mostly what we kind of know is comic book to film or book to film or even film to book, because there's a lot of people who, the novelization of Star Wars or something like that, they'll be like, wait a minute, what's this and this thing here, and all that. I'm a big believer in sort of, I already know going in that I'm not going to get the book, and I'm okay with that. So one of my favorite 2 or 3 books is a book called In the Name of the Rose. It's by a guy named Umberto Eco. If you're watching from home, it's about this thick. So it's probably about, it's a huge novel. It's about 3 or 4 inches thick. It's a big, big book. And a lot of it is just this sort of, he's discussing Catholicism and all these different things, but it's just a good murder mystery at the end, but it's very well done. So at the time, I didn't even know there was a film that had Sean Connery and who's the kid? Christian
Slater.
Thank you. Christian Slater's in it, and then the villain from Moonraker is in it, who happens to be the villain in this. Duh. So yeah, but a tone, but good, right? So, but the film is great. The film is fantastic. I really enjoyed it. And so they're both great. But they're not alike. You couldn't pack that book into a film. In the same way, when you watch Dune, the David Lynch version, you don't go, oh shit, that is not the book. Now, when Dune came out, the Dino De Laurentiis Dune, it was either you hated it or you loved it. I ended up loving it. I thought it was fine because I wasn't a book loyalist. So now we have this other Dune I think it's got kicked another year. Hopefully they'll change their minds when the vaccine starts working and everything else. But so now you'll have, what's his name? Timothée Chalamet and all these other great. So now they're saying, oh, they're being a little more faithful. But the point is, if you're pretty rigid, the Bond series is a great example of movies not following the books. Exactly. Each medium has its own sort of spirit and life. And if you could go in saying, what I love about this is this, and if they could just sort of capture that on screen, I'm good, right? I'm good with, like James Bond. I like James Bond books because they sort of do something different than the movies, but I like the movies too. So PJ brings up a great point. So again, I'll say this, and I'll be very candid about this. I'm not necessarily a big fan of comic book movies. I mean, I am. I love them. I love Thor Ragnarok, and I love watching them. But I'm a fan of comic books, and the reason why I'm a fan of comic books, or the same fan I'm a fan of books, is because in books I can use my imagination to fill in the gaps, and that's how I write the story, and that's how I frame things, and that's how I see things. And when someone puts on screen their vision of the Flash or Green Lantern or something else, then I go, nope, that's not what I saw in my head. So for 2 hours, I got to put up with, I don't like this Green Lantern. I mean, Green Lantern was a bad film, so let's not talk about that. But like Justice League is a fair film. It's not great. They're about to re-release it as like a 4-hour miniseries on HBO Plus, the Zack Snyder cut. Who gives a shit? But the point is, like, I thought that Flash was pretty good, but I didn't like the Flash on the CW. So the point is, you start seeing things on screen where you go, that's not the way I expected it. Like watching X-Men movies, Iceman, not the way I expected it. Didn't look that great. Right. So again, comic books are the medium of choice for me. But, you see a film like Thor Ragnarok, which actually stays pretty true in a lot of ways. That's a great film, and I'm totally in on that. But there are other things I'm like,
I really liked it.
Didn't really care a lot. So, I just feel like you have to be medium agnostic. Or is that the right word? Agnostic? Probably right. Just medium agnostic in terms of, when you look at other products. So you are watching.
And you brought up a good point.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, make your point, and then I'll do the ID.
You brought up a good point in that you have to take it for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Two more I thought of. The American Assassin is a book series written by Vince Flynn. And the first movie actually took two of the books and smushed them together. If I hadn't read every book in the series, some of them several times,
right,
I would probably have enjoyed the movie.
Right.
As it was, I didn't so much because I'd read the book, some of them several times.
Right, and you probably loved the books.
Yeah, and the other one was the Chris Kyle book and slash movie.
Okay.
I enjoyed reading the book. The movie, I enjoyed the portrayals and the acting because what's his name? I thought did a good job.
Right.
I did not necessarily like the movie. Ender's Game was another one. I could not stand the movie.
Yeah, not good.
So
you are watching this show as a JK with your pals Jason and Keith. We're coming up a little bit more than 20 minutes left. We usually start our bracket here, but we are once again bracket-less, and we apologize for that, but we will be back next week with a bracket. We appreciate all of you who've come here and helped us make conversation and do all that. Another film and book that are both fine are The Hunt for Red October. I thought both were great, although many people hate Sean Connery's dumb Russian accent. But who cares?
Be careful what you shoot at. Some things in here don't react with a bullet.
What do you think about Russell Wilson going to the Cowboys?
I don't think it's going to happen. Or has it already happened? Did I miss it?
Yeah, it happened about an hour ago.
Don't lie to me.
Look at my face. Am I lying?
You're a good liar.
Yeah, I'm totally lying. Yeah, no, he's not yet. It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. No, I don't think he will. I think it's all talk. I think he'll stay with Seattle. I don't think Seattle's that stupid. But all Seattle needs is a line, and Russell Wilson can do his job. And I think Dallas is still wanting to keep Dak. I don't think they're wanting to give him a short-term contract. I think they want to sign him for a long-term. So we'll see. They may franchise Dak again. Who knows?
I think you said this. Oops, sorry about that. I just switched scenes on accident. Let me put it back. Okay, so I think what Russell Wilson has said, and you said this earlier in the week, is that Russell Wilson's not seeking a trade. It's one of these weird, he's not seeking a trade, but if he were to be traded, here's where he would want to go. So it's kind of like that deal. Whatever. I mean, these are weird times. J.J. Watt is now an Arizona Cardinal, so I think they think that that's going to transform the Cardinals into a contender. I think J.J. Watt has been broken more than an old car and has to be put back together. and I think that's but the thing that he brings is chemistry and spirit and all of that. That's a big deal. So, I think Cliff Kingsbury is doing some pretty great things in Arizona, so they'll be one to watch. But again, we're in that period of people trying to move around and people trying to get the best free agent deal. Nothing. Again, Deshaun Watson hasn't moved. I haven't followed basketball that close. Oh, yes, I have. So this is non-sports. So if you're still hanging on, great. You'll appreciate this. But there's something called NBA Top Cards, I think it is. Have you heard about this? I posted it to my feed. But essentially, it is you can buy and own a video highlight. I think it's Top Cards. Let me see.
I thought you were going to say buy and own a player. And I said, well, that went out about 100 years ago, but okay.
NBA Top Cards. Hang on. Let me look it up real quick. What is it called? Top Shot. NBA Top Shot. I'm still trying to figure this out. Yep, there it is. But it's officially licensed digital collectible.
I agree, PJ.
Huh? Oh, okay.
PJ said Wilson was just airing his frustration.
Yeah, for sure. So essentially, these are digital memories that you supposedly buy. They're like playing cards. And so, like the one I'm seeing right now is Derrick Rose, who's 1,000 years old and has, I think, had more knee repairs, twice as many knee repairs than I have. And you buy a highlight, essentially. You're buying Derrick Rose doing a layup. And you own that. And you pay like $200,000 for that. And so somebody keeps trying to say, well, look, if I can go to YouTube on the NBA's channel and watch Derrick Rose do this same highlight, why do I need to buy it? Well, because you own it. You know, and the blockchain says you own the original copy, blah, 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 blah. So I haven't quite gotten past the snake oil part of this yet. But this top shot thing is really interesting because in the first like 5 weeks, they've already done like $300 million worth of business. And it has a lot to do with blockchain. It has a lot to do with I don't want to say Bitcoin. That's not, but it is sort of along those same lines as, you know, this is, you know, a new thing. Now, the other thing that's interesting, again, kind of dipping away from the sports, even though this is the sports portion, and I bring this up. There's an artist on Instagram. He goes by Beeple, Beeple, and he creates sort of similar things, little videos, 3D videos. He's an amazing 3D artist. He's really, really good, and he did some political stuff. And he just sold one for like $6 million. And it's blockchain, wow. And it's literally just like a piece of plastic. It's about this big. And then it's a blockchain video highlight. And it's the image, the thing that, you know, you bought playing over and over again. And again, I'm still sitting here saying, well, if that video is posted to YouTube and I just wanted to go and appreciate it, why can't I just go to YouTube and watch it? So
right.
I don't know the answer to that question. I'm still trying to figure it out. And but it's an interesting phenomenon as sort of sports collectibles go. You don't have to buy you're not buying baseball cards, you're not buying a physical object, you're buying something very intangible and very digital, and it kind of spills over to the video game realm of when you buy like AOL bucks to buy firearms and skins for your firearms and things like that. And that's the kind of thing I'm just a lot intolerant of because the world is just turning into a casino in that way. But even still, this just feels very snake oily to me. And I didn't mean to kind of subvert the whole sports segment with that, but this Top Shots thing to me is just fascinating. And I'm sure the NFL and the MLB and others are going to get in on it, but it's $300 million in, and it's no sign of stopping it. So beyond that, I haven't really watched any sports lately, so I don't have anything else to report.
I watch golf.
Yeah.
Jordan Spieth hit a hole-in-one yesterday.
All right.
But now he's 2 behind. I have it on behind me. I still enjoy watching golf. I would much rather be out playing golf. Mm-hmm. We'll see if that, when that starts happening. Let's see. Is it tonight or next week in the States that daylight saving time kicks in? Because it's the 14th for us, so it must be next week for the States.
Stand by.
And then the 14th for us.
Daylight saving time, you mean?
Saving, that's what I said.
I thought it was.
Saving time.
Daylight saving time. Let's see. Let me do a better change. When is daylight saving time Europe?
March 14th.
Fuck. No, that's 2020. March 14th?
That's not what I said.
I don't know.
That's what I said. March 14th.
All right, then I believe.
I know it's a week behind the U.S.
It's either a week or sometimes I thought last time was 2 weeks or something weird. Anyway, yeah, it's coming. So swing forward, fall back. We get an hour. So the other two, I want to follow up. The other two military films I was thinking of, along with Flight of the Intruder, were Behind Enemy Lines with Owen Wilson, which is generally credited as being
that was
good.
Owen Wilson, yeah.
And then if you want the real sort of drama, no shit sort of portrayal, Bat 21 with Gene Hackman and also Danny Glover is supposed to be real good too. I've read that book
several times.
But I think Flight of the Intruder is another A6 film, so that kind of makes up for that. So, anywho,
yes.
yeah, but I hadn't seen much else out of golf other than when they all wore red on Sunday, and that was about it. Yeah, I just let the phone tell me daylight savings. Absolutely, Terry. We have to do it because public affairs, but the phone switches an hour, and I go, oh, I don't have to be up, or oh, damn, I'm late. It's one of those two things, right? What else you got?
Right. I'm looking at my list. I got nothing.
Me either.
So got nothing.
Maybe we could wrap up.
Shaved and got a haircut.
Oh, the beard. So Keith cut his beard. And you got a haircut too, right? You got it all done?
I did.
Yeah.
Not at the same time, but yes.
Looks good. It looks good.
And it's still not now.
I did my own again.
Let's see.
It's not bad. The top's a little longer than I like, but I honestly want to go get a real haircut now. But I want to keep it kind of
just
short.
Blend it in.
That's the hardest part. The blending is the hardest part.
Yeah. Yeah. So I got my haircut. Let's see. I shaved Monday night. Got my haircut on Tuesday.
Right.
And for about a day and a half, 2 days, every time I went by my bathroom mirror, it scared me. I was ready to fight.
Man.
So.
All right, listen, we are out of material, so we're going to wrap up a little early tonight. We'll be back with the bracket next week, and the bracket will be best movie lines. Go ahead, make my day, all of those, as suggested by my father, which is actually a great suggestion. So we'll do that, or maybe we'll hold that one and we'll do a St. Patrick's Day sort of bracket, best St. Patrick's Day things. Because that'll be a bit more timely. So, anything else before we go?
Have you done your taxes yet?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
I have not done mine. That's the reason I brought it up. I have not done mine, and I probably won't want to talk about it after.
I got to reconcile too, though. So, all right, everybody, have a good one. Thank you for joining us. We will talk to you all later. Bye-bye.
Love you all. Bye.